Yeah, Chris,
Very busy amnesty, so we turned out people with fraud documents
you can see in the description below all the other ones.
and forged class list. One person forged a class list for me, those statistics, and nobody showed up. It was crazy, but it was a real relief. I think it was the first time that people were actually honest with what was going on because there was going to be no consequences to actions. And that we all got to share about what we were doing. It was quite funny.
Okay, it sounds like someone forged and then they weren't held accountable to their, I don't know. Someone forged and probably was held accountable, and that's their opportunity to be honest with themselves.
Weirdness. There was one time there were these events called the special evenings at the forums. With the 52 forum leaders, they would generally do particular regions. So some would stay in India, New Zealand, Australia. Most others did just the States and Canada, some did Europe. There were a couple of Americans that really liked Australia, so they would fly over and deal with having no sleep, having to leave the forum, go back. Like savages. One guy was taking pills. It was crazy. The pressure that they were under as well. So there was an event
I mean, they liked Australia. They wanted to go there. I wouldn't call that pressure. That was their choice.
where a woman was getting ready to go to a special evening at the Landmark Forum, and her partner poured petrol on her and set her alight to stop her from going. So that was like a massive shutdown. We had all the centres around Australia. We had to deal. We had a format to how to deal with media if anybody called, what to say, when to direct people. So yeah, there were practices in place to deal with these unusual events that seemed to happen. One guy in the States was found to be inappropriately touched.
I mean, if there's a policy for something, it's not really that unusual. And I'd rather them have a policy for it.
People as a coach. So then the policy came through. So now we do touch people. We are not allowed to physically touch people. We need to touch, move, and inspire people through our communication. If you see anybody touching anybody, then intervene. So like quite radical measures were meant to.
I mean, it's just incredible listening. They see one issue and then they change everything worldwide immediately. It's great.
Counteract the craziness.
Right. And of course, it's a little hard to show compassion and empathy for somebody without somehow touching them sometimes. I mean, it's an interesting rule.
No, I'd argue not. You can get all your compassion out with just looking people in the eye and being with them.
But I get it. I get it. When you don't have anything else, it's interesting. I'm just so fascinated by it. It's so interesting. All of the there's just so many comparisons. It really is in many ways.
Yeah, I don't see any. Please tell me exactly what comparison you see. There's none comparing Scientology to Landmark. It's like we both breathe air. We're not both in some sort of anyway. Scientology got stuff from Buddhism, and so did Landmark. So maybe that's your commonality. I don't know.
Scientology light in a lot of ways.
It's not Scientology light at all.
Example, you have this amnesty, and you wrote down what you were doing wrong, or you told me.
No, it was all verbal.
All verbal. Okay. See, we had amnesties.
I mean, this is on staff, and it's being accountable. Like I want my staff members to be accountable. Like why is that a bad thing?
I think the last one was when the IRS victory happened back in '93. They haven't done an amnesty since then. But what you do have, right? You mentioned, they're trying to figure out why the statistics aren't being met, why the quotas aren't being hit.
So the IRS won against Scientology, and then they stopped doing amnesty.
They're trying to figure out what's going on, and they're going to decide that the way to do that is to go into everybody's personal space and find out what they're up to and what they're not being. Or
No, it's just yeah. I mean, look, you can't like fully stop your home life and be at work. Like if something's going on in your home life, it can very easily impact your work. So it's not weird to ask people I mean, if anything, that's more compassionate. It's more, let's make sure everything's going according to your plan in life, or else it doesn't have integrity for you to even work here.
Or whatever, like you mentioned before. And what have you been doing that is getting in the way of this, right? Because you know that the basic cause of this problem is you, and your wrongdoing. You're in more.
Yeah, you keep saying problem and wrongdoing. No, it's just that is not equivalent to responsibility. Me taking responsibility for something is not blame. It's not any of that.
Or out, your immoral actions or whatever. In Scientology, those are called overs.
Yeah, no, you keep saying things that are in Scientology and then saying that Landmark's like that, but you don't know about Landmark and she isn't stopping you and correcting that it's not.
So, right, which is we're gonna root that out by getting you to confess or give it up or talk or whatever. They don't use the word confess. And then that's going to free things up and your space will be cleared out and your flows will be open. This would be how they would say it in Scientology. And they would make you, though, instead of talking about it, they would make you write it.
That is Buddhism, to my understanding.
Down. And this is called an overt withhold write-up, and this is done all the time. So,
yeah, helping a brain dump and writing down what's on your brain is, I don't know, therapeutic in ways.
Sometimes weekly.
So I talk about journaling.
In Scientology. For you, it was an exceptional event. In Scientology, it's a regular event.
It was exceptional. It was quite funny. So we didn't write much down.
Right.
The information was stored in memory.
I can see why in a business environment you would want to do it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was very much, so what's going on with you? Who are you out of communication with? Have you not paid a fine? Go and sort it out and come back. Clear it up, come back and be on purpose.
Right.
Because
on purpose. There it is. There it is.
It's very.
When did purpose become a bad thing? When did like making sure your bills are paid become a bad thing?
Like what you said, you're the error here. Sort it out. And there was nothing to do with Landmark, of course.
Exactly. And this all comes back down to
Yeah, yeah. The company has been working on their structures for 55 years. They're just asking if you're going to be on staff to have your personal structures handled.
In case you get to know this, this is literally probably the most common logical fallacy in the world. It is called a fundamental attribution error, where you basically assume it is the individual and the individual's motives and the individual's himself and his intentions that are in error here and not circumstance.
No, again, they're not saying an error. They're just saying, hey, here's it's not a formula, but here's some questions to ask yourself to empower yourself to go out and do the job that you say you want to do here. And if you don't want to work here, it's fine too.
Factors. You ignore the situational factors. You only look at the individual. And, the guy cut you off in traffic because he's a jerk, not because he's late running to the hospital because his wife is having a baby. Mm-hmm. He's just a jerk. It's individual. It's to him. It's the assumption we all make.
Wait, but why would it be him? Wouldn't it be me? I'm not the guy. So I'm taking responsibility for, I don't know, not looking all around before I made I mean, did he cut me off? I don't know. I'm slowing down and getting in the right lane like this. And you didn't get in an accident. So there's, you could say, oh, you cut me off. It's like, okay, are you safe? Are you good? Okay. Let's not focus on him. He's gone already.
Every single day, we make hundreds of these fundamental attributes.
He's saying that if the guy was him, that he would be held accountable and say I don't even know. You're talking about what is it called? When you make something up and it's a made up scenario that's happening.
Attribution errors, because we can't see the circumstances surrounding the person. We can only see the person. And our idea of what that person must be thinking to do that horrible thing they just did, cutting me off in traffic. So it must be their evil intentions that are forcing them to cut me off in traffic.
Yeah, you're like flipping it kind of backwards.
Situational scene that I don't know anything about, right? We do this all the time. So it's so interesting to see it taken to such an extreme in an organizational situation with Scientology or Reform or something where they push this fundamental attribution error down the line as though this is all.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're pushing it. Again, you can not work there. I would say as a staff member, I'm pulling myself into the conversation. And I mean, I know based on what they know that I trust them to only be having a conversation if it's to benefit my results. And I love that because then I get that skill set to use for the rest of my life.
Always the solution to the problem, when it's actually a logical fallacy.
And then the leaders would come through, like the center managers, the regional managers would come through with this huge breakthrough.
Yeah, whatever Landmark's doing, it's not a logical fallacy at all.
Now they're making all this business because they've got straight with themselves. We did that to get straight with ourselves. And then magic occurs. Relationships start to flourish and you'll meet the buckets.
Yeah, that's how the universe works.
Same. I have so know what you're talking about. So then what happened?
So then I started to really question what I said. Well, on my warning, I had, to get off my warning, I had something like 6 measures to make. Then I would be cleared of it. So being on a warning meant that I was a bonusful. I mean, the bonuses were not huge anyway. I only ever had in that time 1 bonus. The rest of the time we were just so off track. Little Hicksville was so off track most of the time that we went to breakdowns all the time. I had 6 traditions.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, these people have a lot of training. And I would say that maybe what was missing in that atmosphere you were working in is you taking, I mean, if there's a mess going on and people are screwing up their stuff, there's a certain level of responsibility that I now have now that I've done the form and the event scores to cause the whole center. Even if I just started it's my first day, I can still cause a result with the whole center and flip around everything immediately. And now that you've been gone years now, I bet you if you went back, it'd be a completely different scenario and very much a well-oiled machine. Still breakdowns. I mean, look, what company doesn't deal with breakdowns? And saying I'm going to do 7 and only doing 6 calls, like it's not like, yeah, I could call it a breakdown and make it a big deal for the benefit of my results in the future, as opposed to making a big deal and like bad and wrong and immoral or whatever.
In area needed to register. So this was for us a yes event. We literally got a map with one of these, a tracker, and you had to draw a circle around the map of Melbourne. Anybody within 100.
Oh, I went way back. Hold your horses.
Correct. Yeah, been in that headspace. I totally get it. I mean, it's so easy to be the armchair critic on this stuff because when you're living it, it's not this crystal clear at all. It's not at all clear. All the lines are squiggly and vague, and everything looks really kind of weird. And you're in the middle of it, and you don't know what's right and wrong. And when the group pressure is you're the one who's wrong, it's really
there's no group pressure, and they would never blame anyone for being wrong. It's literally nothing is wrong.
It was interesting. We had an amnesty because the centers weren't performing well. It was really funny actually. I had left a manual in a taxi about 3.
Yeah, when Scapegoat. I don't think that would be blame, and that would be against what they stand for. That there's no point in blame, shame, guilt.
Himself and his intentions that are in error here and not circumstantial situational factors. You ignore the situational factors, you would only look at the individual. And, the guy cut you off in traffic.
Myself. And I was like, I was the new center manager that came through. One of the center manager prior was, she got quite ill. She started to lose her eyesight. She suffered for about a year trying to get out. So I could see some tracks that I was like, I'm not really excited by this. So it took.
I mean, you can say she's suffering. I don't know if she would say that. You know what I mean? It's like talking for other people is, I mean, if she was suffering so bad, bring her on for an interview. You know what I mean? It's like, and she's out and she took responsibility for her own eyesight and her own health. And that's, would you say, a little bit more important than working at a job?
Well, basically with a lawyer from Sydney. She couldn't believe the salary. She was like on a very high salary in Sydney. She was like high flyer. I know best clothes. And when she saw the salary to be on staff, it took a while for her to come over. And when she did, she wanted to make all these huge. There was like a massive clean out. She ended up being on a warning. She said it was going to be a landmark for later. It was like there wasn't really any leadership. So I was just like,
yeah, just underestimation of effort. People want certain things and they realize the commitment that it takes to get that.
Really left. And came to Melbourne. My friends spent some time with my family. And what I did was went back. I heard about a reviewers forum for the landmark forum. So I went in and I did a reviewers forum. I got with everybody there. Everybody could talk, be open about what's been happening. And I left that course with course supervisor packet, a 6 intimacy packet, an advanced course packet, and I reviewed the introductory leaders program. So that meant I was back there. I had a full-time job and I was still back there every night of the week. What I saw out of that was I saw myself as a failure and I needed to somehow establish myself as competent.
I don't know how you can see yourself as a failure after done the form of the advanced course. It's either the advanced course or maybe a different course, but you get that you can never fail. You could fail to perform, but that's all it is.
And with the course supervisor program, it's the one course I actually really loved because I was around the courses and the leaders and the content for long periods of time. As a course supervisor, we would prepare 6 weeks.
Yeah, so she chose to do other things. Again, you have full free choice when you leave the forum. So I suggest the advanced course, but other than that, I mean, it's totally up to you.
I organized the team who'd been there an hour earlier, an hour later, and then debrief. And it was kind of like it was start, middle, end. It was over. I could go back to my note, take what I learned into my real life. And then I had like 6 courses in the first year, 4 the second, and I came out of that competent. And then I closed the door. I was successful. I could actually do something really well in organizing teams and events. I got the course supervised programs.
Look at all those skills you gained from working there.
Many people, many fans of course, the sound. And then when I got 96%, I was just like, oh, okay, I'm kind of back. Now I can go and face the real world in a minute.
All right, we'll continue. Hope you're having the best day ever. Hope this video wasn't too much of a repeat. Bye-bye.